Well, hi guys. It's good to be back here with you today. I've had an awesome 3 or 4 days off. I haven't had a telephone signal very good. I've only had one dot, so I haven't been able to upload any videos to Facebook because of that. Today, I don't want to do a Bible teaching snippet. I want to do a testimony, Monday Miracle. Now, I've talked about this once before, but it's been several months ago. I went on a missions trip. I was in Bible college, and it was required that we go on a missions trip. And so we went to Brazil. I was in a room with 4 or 5 other women. This young lady was having a panic attack, full-blown major panic attack. Part of it was probably the heat. The house we were in was not air conditioned, and it was the humidity there was worse than Memphis, and it's close to 100 degrees in that house. It's above 90 degrees. So, but the bottom line here is there was a lot. We had traveled, and it had been a hard day, and we get there, and everything is really, really hot, and I believe that's what might have brought on her panic attack as well. Anyway, I've been downstairs, and as I walked by that room, sometimes we're a little hard-headed, okay? And this is my admission to that. I walked by, and I thought I heard God say, go in there and pray for her. And I looked, and there's 4 other women around her, and I thought, oh my goodness, she's fine. They've got this. They are just as full of God as I am, okay? And I took a couple more steps, and Holy Spirit told me again, go in there and lay your hands on her. So I'm like, oh, okay, that really was you, not me. So I went in there, and guys, the minute I laid my hand on the girl, now she had her eyes shut. She didn't know who I was or anything. I just laid my hand on her, and immediately she settled down. And we went out, and she just looked at me, and I held my hand out. I said, will you come sit on the couch with me? And she's like, yes. And so we go out of the room, and we sit on the couch together. And when we sat down, God told me to ask her if I could hold her hand. So I did. And she said, yeah. And then as I held her hand, I said, would it be okay with you if I prayed in tongues over you? And her eyes got really, really big, and she said, yes, I would really like for you to do that, yes. So I started praying in tongues over her, and I'm telling you, it is the most beautiful tongues I have ever heard myself pray. The Holy Spirit, He was working through me, speaking to her, and she understood in English, her own language, everything that God wanted her to know. And I didn't know what God was saying to her. But she settled down and was at complete peace. And when we got through, she looked at me and she said, how did you know to ask me that? And I'm like, what do you mean? And she said, you asked me if you could hold my hand and pray in tongues over me. And I said, well, baby, I did not know. God told me to do that. She then tells me that it had to be God because that's what she would do back in the States when she's with her mom, when she has a full-blown panic attack, which she's had since she was a little bitty girl, by the way. Her mom would ask her, can I hold your hand and can I pray in tongues over you? And that's exactly how her mother would settle her down, and it always helped her. But here's the miracle. You ready? This young lady, as of today, has never, ever had another panic attack. This young lady suffered with panic attacks all of her life, and she has been set free, completely free, for over 3 years now. And guys, I'm just telling you, God will work with and through you if you're open to His power to help other people, and not just other people, but for yourself as well. Now, I just want to say this, okay? The situation that I worked in on that missions trip was horrendously bad. There was a lot of issues there, a lot of problems, and even through a lot of contention and strife and jealousy, and forgive me for saying this in public, but it was absolute poor leadership on that trip. But what I'm getting at, okay, that's not the main subject here. The main subject here is that God will do His very best to overcome all of those human, fleshly, bad stuff that's going on, all this junk that people get caught up in. He will try His best to work through someone, to heal, to set free. Remember last week I talked about the meaning of the word sozo. The word sozo in the Greek means to save, salvation, what we call getting saved or born again. But sozo means to save, to heal, to provide, to protect, to set free, to keep safe and sound. So God will do what He can do through people who are willing, even in the worst cases that you could ever come upon. I have another miracle story where I carried my ventriloquist doll and a little boy got set free. I might just add that tomorrow to my snippet and do a Tuesday testimony as well. So guys, I'm going to sign off here today, and I hope this blesses you, that you know that God sets people free today. And my friend, you can be one that God will set free, or you can be one like me that God works in partnership with to set other people free. But He's real and He's working. The big question is, are we willing to allow Him to work with and through us so that His kingdom can come on this earth as it's already being done in heaven? Because my friends, there's no sickness, there's no panic attacks, there's no cancer, none of that stuff is in heaven. And it's not God's will for it to be here on this earth. His precious, precious Son Jesus bought and paid for all of that to be taken away and removed from the earth through us who will believe. Remember, Jesus said, all things are possible for the one who believes. And I'm practicing being the one who will believe God for anything and everything that He wants me to do on this earth. I'll see you tomorrow right here on Facebook. God bless. Bye-bye.